You know that thing you keep saying you need to do, but you keep not doing? We have got to break that cycle and start doing. Hi, it's Rachel Cook, your modern mentor. I'm the founder of Lead Above Noise, where we help teams work better by design. We deliver the tools and frameworks to help ensure that work is productive, profitable, and energizing for the human spirit. I would love to come speak at your next event or offsite to deliver the clarity, confidence, and tools that your leaders need to bring this shift to life. Reach out today at leadabovenoise.com/connect. So I'm not really a betting woman, but if I were, I might bet that once or twice in your life, you've said to yourself or to someone else, I really should get more sleep. And I also bet that you mean it, really. You've read the studies, you believe in the health benefits, but you keep not getting more sleep and then saying that you need to get more sleep. Truth is, as much as we believe we need to make the change, there are very real reasons that we don't. Whether it's the whole balancing work and a family thing, or even just the siren call of one more episode on Netflix, it's easier said than done. But also, it's so damn important because while we postpone making the change, our health is suffering. And the same thing is happening at work. I work with several leadership teams on a retained basis, which means I have occasion to run not just one meeting, but a series of meetings over the course of a year. And for better or worse, this means that sometimes I get to catch some of their bad patterns. So I see where they might say in one meeting, we really need to fill in the blank. And then we come back together in a month or 6 months, and they're still saying they really need to do fill in the blank, but they haven't. The reality is it's just more comfortable to keep things as they are. Because change, even necessary change, requires effort, trade-offs, even a little discomfort. So we say the thing instead of doing it, and we let saying it feel like progress, which is false comfort. We have to start doing the things. So let's talk today about some of the things I'm hearing repeated most commonly these days, and maybe how we can get started on making change. The first is we need to cut back on priorities. We all know this is true. A team rallied around a handful of core priorities will be more successful than a team scattered across 17. But the reality, there are lots of leaders and lots of demands, and constantly prioritizing takes work. Sometimes it's easier in the moment to just half-ass a lot of things than it is to do the hard work of prioritizing or even saying no or not now to a leader, which can be painful. So we hang on to the status quo, even though work gets sloppy and deadlines get missed and teams start to burn out and lose track of what matters. Because somehow we let ourselves believe that this is better than change. But change doesn't have to be dramatic. It doesn't have to mean crossing 14 priorities off the list of 17. It may mean starting to play with a better intake or triage system, asking some better questions as things come up so we can be more discerning about what matters most. It may mean establishing stronger internal partnerships so we're better able to collaborate on some priorities rather than carrying them alone. It may mean expanding our answer set beyond yes and no to things like maybe next month or next quarter. It may mean negotiating, suggesting something else on the list that gets delayed a bit, with a clear point of view on why that's the right call. A single, small, incomplete action will beat total inaction every time. Next up is we need to upskill our workforce on AI. AI is changing how work gets done, and your organization needs to get fluent. But it feels like a huge undertaking. We don't even know where to start. So we say we need to, and then we don't. But instead of the do-nothing strategy, maybe take some small steps to start. Encourage existing teams to start playing with AI, literally just experimenting with no stakes. Maybe even watch some YouTube videos. Invite those a bit more comfortable with it to host lunch and learn sessions and share their skill and their passion. Consider all of this warm-up while you start to explore where do we most need greater AI capacity. Rather than retooling the whole organization, maybe you add just a few ringers to product development and then a handful to the sales team. Be targeted rather than paralyzed by a Herculean task. A thing has to feel doable before you can do it. So make it doable. Next up is we need to reduce meetings. I mean, come on. This one is crushing all of us. We know it's a problem. We mean to change it. It's just, well, looking at the calendar, we wonder what could we possibly cut? But maybe the answer comes through looking at a different lens. Like back in the day when those really tall commercial buildings were getting tons of complaints about the long rides in crowded elevators. It was a doozy. Number of people, number of floors, those were not changeable realities. So the elevator companies got creative. They started partnering with companies that provided video screens in the elevators, streaming pop culture and news. As a result, the length of the ride didn't change, but people's experience of the ride did. So now, back to meetings. If you truly can't reduce the volume, how do you shift the experience? Get the right people in the right room and make sure the right conversations are happening. Strip out or strip back the updates and dial up the dialogue, the planning, the problem solving, the brainstorming. At the very least, everyone in a meeting should leave feeling more equipped than they were at the start. And if not, the meeting really needs to be reevaluated. And finally, we need to be running more experiments. No matter the industry, we all know innovation matters. And we learn to do this by experimenting. But also, we are terrified of failure, afraid of the cost of an experiment gone wrong. So we talk about needing to do it and we keep not doing it. Problem is, we're discounting the cost of not innovating, the money not earned because we didn't advance a product or solution. That cost is real, and it's often higher than the cost of a failed experiment. So how do we shift this? We need to create small, structured, safe experiments to help activate our risk muscles. Give people small sandboxes to play in. Let them play with the products in a test environment. Let them deliver an edgy speech at a university before they hit the conference circuit. Let them see that a small, contained failure doesn't come with a reprimand. It comes with a congrats on the thoughtful try and an invitation to share what they learned. Over time, expand the sandbox. Here's what I want you to take away. The things you keep saying you need to do, you need to actually start to do them. I know it's easier said than done, but also the not doing is costing us all more than we realize. I would love to hear what refrain you're finally ready to act on. Shoot me a note at rachel@leadabovenoise.com. You can follow Modern Mentor on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Find and follow me on LinkedIn. Thanks so much for listening and have a successful week. Modern Mentor is a quick and dirty tips podcast. Thanks to the QDT team. Audio engineer, Dan Feuerband. Director of podcasts, Holly Hutchings. Ad operations specialist, Morgan Christensen. Marketing manager, Rebecca Sebastian. Podcast associate, Maram Engelheed. And our marketing contractor, Nat Hoops.